What's up, you freaking geniuses? So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to perform polynomial synthetic division. All right. Now, you can only use this method when your denominator or your divisor is in the form x plus or minus h. Okay, so you can see our divisor, right, the thing we're dividing by, is in the form x plus or minus h. So we can definitely use synthetic division here. Okay, now in order to perform synthetic division, the first thing you want to do here is just draw this like upside down looking long division symbol. Okay, and now we're going to have two rows of numbers here. In this very first row, we're just going to list our coefficients of our numerator, or in other words, the dividend. Okay, so what are our coefficients here? Well, here we basically have this like hidden 1 right here, right? Positive 1. Here, positive 8 and positive 1, right? So in this first row, the coefficients, the numbers we're going to use are 1, 8, and 1, okay? The next thing we're going to do is find something called a k-value. It's just a number that we're going to put out here on the outside. And to find this number, all you do is take your denominator or your divisor and set it equal to 0. So here we have x minus 4, right? X minus 4, set that equal to 0. So here, x is equal to positive 4, right? So k is equal to positive 4. Basically what you get as your answer right here is the exact same thing as your k value, all right? So it's just a positive 4. So we're going to just put a positive 4 right there. Okay, so those are the two steps, the two main steps anyways, to set up the problem. Now we're going to find the coefficients of our answer. And we're just going to list those down here at the bottom of our big L-shaped looking division symbol, all right? So the first thing we're going to do here is just take whatever number that you have listed here first, just bring it straight down and write it right there. Okay, so this is the first coefficient of our answer. So how do we find the rest of our coefficients? So the next thing we're going to do is take whatever number is out here and multiply it by your k value. So 1 times 4 is equal to 4, right? And then you just list it in the next row right there, all right? So 4 times 1 or 1 times 4, that's equal to 4. Okay, cool. So you see we have two numbers right here. We're going to add those together, okay? Because we're basically adding this row to find the coefficients here on the very bottom. The only number we don't do that is with the very first one, okay? But with the rest of these, you always just add them straight down. So 8 plus 4, that's equal to 12, right? Positive 12. So we have a 12 right there. Okay, cool. So again, to find the missing number here, you just take that number that you just found and multiply it by your k value. So 4 times 12 is equal to 48. So 1 plus 48 is 49. Okay, cool. So now we're done. Now these are the coefficients of our answer. So this last number right here, this is always your remainder. Okay, then this number over here is just a constant. And then this number over here is your variable to the first power, right? So here, the variable that we're using are x's, right? So this is basically going to be x to the first power. If we had another row over here, then that number would be x squared, and that the next one would be x cubed, and so forth, okay? But here, we're just going up to just x to the first. Okay, so here our answer is going to be 1x, so we're going to write it as 1x, and then we're going to have just this constant, so it's a positive 12, right? So we're going to write plus 12, and then this is our remainder, 49. So we're going to, and it's positive, right? So plus 49, but for our remainder, it's always a fraction, right? So what goes in the denominator? Well, it's whatever your original denominator was over here, or whatever you're dividing by. So here it's x minus 4, right? So we're going to write x minus 4 right there. Right? So then our answer is 1x plus 12 plus 49 over x minus 4. All right, now here we have x to the fourth plus 4x cubed plus 16x minus 35 in parentheses divided by x plus 5. Okay, so here again, whatever we're dividing by has to be in the form x plus or minus h. So here it definitely is, right? So we can again use synthetic division, right? So the first thing we want to do is just list our coefficients here in our big upside down division symbol, right? And that's going to go in our first row, right? So here for x to the fourth, we have a 1. X cubed, we have a positive 4. Here you can see we don't have an x squared term. We basically skip over it, right? But we do need to include it. Okay, so we could basically rewrite this as x to the fourth plus 4x cubed plus 0x squared plus 16x minus 35. Okay, so then in this case, you can see the coefficient would be just a 0, right? 4x squared. And then for x, or x to the first, it's positive 16. And then our constant, finally, right here is negative 35. Okay, so we have 5 coefficients, right? So we have 1, positive 4, 0, positive 16, and negative 35. All right, so again, that's our first row. And then the other thing to set up the problem is just finding that k value. So again, to find that, we just have to set whatever we're dividing by equal to 0, right? So x plus 5 is equal to 0. So here x is equal to negative 5, right? So that means k is equal to negative 5. So that's the number we're going to put right here. So again, those are the 2 steps to set up the problem. Now we're going to find the coefficients of our answer. All right. So again, the first thing we want to do is just bring the very first number down, straight down like that. So in this case, it's just a 1. Okay. Now, to find the next number, again, we're going to multiply by our k value. So 1 times negative 5 is just negative 5. All right. And then remember, we're just going to be adding all these numbers vertically. So 4 plus negative 5 is equal to negative 1. All right. Now, to find this number over here, again, just take this number times your k value. So negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5. All right, so 0 plus 5 is equal to positive 5. All right, so now to find this number, again, just multiply by your k value. So negative 5 times 5 is 25, right? And sorry, I took up too much space right there. I'll write it right there. And it's negative, right? Because negative 5 times positive 5 is negative 25, right? So 16 plus negative 25 is equal to negative 9. So we're going to put negative 9 right there. All right, and then to find our final number right here, negative 9 times negative 5 is positive 45. Okay, negative 35 plus 45 is positive 10. So we have a positive 10 right there. Okay, so again, starting at the end over here, this is our remainder, this is our constant, this is our x term, this is our x squared term, and this is our x cubed term, right? So our first term is going to be 1x cubed, and then here we have negative x squared, negative 1x squared, right? But we can just write that as negative x squared. Here we have positive 5x, right? So plus 5x. This is just a constant, so just a number, right? So that's just a minus 9. And then our remainder is positive 10, right? So plus 10. And remember, for our remainder, it's always a fraction. And in the bottom of our fraction just goes whatever we were dividing by. So this guy right here, x plus 5, right? So x plus 5, right? So then that would be your final answer right there. So if you found the video helpful, definitely leave a thumbs up down below. And if you have any other questions or want to see any other examples, just let me know in the comment section below.